Guys, welcome back to Checks and Balances, where we promise to talk about uplifting and elevating conversations. And with me today, I have Ruben Kihumuro. He's a digital marketing expert. And today we'll be talking about how to leverage digital marketing in a small business. So Kihumuro, first introduce yourself.
First of all, thanks for having me. Like you've said, I'm Ruben Kihumuro. I don't like the word expert as such because I feel like...
Because that's what you're all about, so that's why I call you
Yeah, but especially in the field that I am in, you can't be an expert. There's something new every day, and you can't have the grasp of everything.
But it's another facet of life.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I personally, I think I have a very big problem with the word expert. Yeah, I feel like myself, I'm still learning, but I use my knowledge to also impact other people's lives. Yeah, I don't know what else you'd probably want to know about me. Besides that, I'm very passionate about sports, and particularly rugby. Co-founder of a sports media company called Kratos Africa. Right now, we're also venturing into the side of merchandising and fitness and wellness. So that's pretty much what I'm up to, trying to juggle all those at once.
So Ruben, for as long as I've known you, you're like always advocating for people to market online, and that's what you do, I think, for a living, right?
Yeah.
And most of your businesses operate online.
Yeah.
So ever since the pandemic, there has been this shift where businesses have they've had to downsize, people have had to work from home, and people have to look for ways of creating more avenues of getting money.
Yeah.
So for a small business that exists, or for a business that someone who wants to start a business, let's say they want to work from home, how can they leverage social media? How can they start using social media so that they can reach more clients and grow?
Yeah, definitely, like you said, I think it is something that was, and I feel personally has been overlooked, and it's something that previously I was really passionate about, trying to create awareness, trying to show brands and businesses the value that comes out of digital marketing in general. Because one thing that you should know, digital marketing is bigger than just social media. Most people think it's just social media. It's bigger. It's email marketing, it's apps, it's website, it's influencer marketing, it's content creation. So it's a big spectrum, like I said. But like the way you see anything, even if it's negative, it comes with positives, and that was what the pandemic brought. It showed people that first and foremost, you do not have to always be in one place, like go to town to work. Secondly, that some of these traditional forms of marketing are old school, and they are not measurable as compared to the digital marketing space. If you look at some of the statistics that come out, as of 2019, digital marketing avenues have actually surpassed traditional in first of all impact, in efficiency, and in value for money.
And targeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, there's always that big challenge when it comes to resources, especially for small businesses. Looking at it from, being a business owner as well, I understand when I interact with other business owners, and they also think about it in the sense that, how can I spend this money on just social media? And you can tell them a fee, and their eyes go like, but they don't know that that's actually, some of them, I give them the bare minimum, because we usually have packages that are targeting the SMEs, and then packages that are targeting the corporates, which are totally different depending on your resource power.
Yeah. So before we got further to budgeting and so for a small business, what's the best way to use digital marketing? Like, what are the best forms to use as a small business?
Definitely, as a small business, you should just start small. It's all about opening up first and foremost the social media. And one thing that I tell people, it's all about trying to influence your network. Try to use your friends. Try to use the people you know to interact with your brand online, because this is all about algorithms. And of course, it all goes back to one thing. This is one thing I tell people. However good your social media is, always never forget to work on your product, because your product is what sells you. If you have a good product, a lot of people will come through. If you have a product, and then maybe I tell you to maybe engage with me or try my product and give me a review, because there's nothing as good as a human referral. And once people start talking about your product, and then other people want to, well, you'll be like, you know what, these guys are talking about this, let me try it out. Or let me, if it's a small hangout place, let me try this place out. So it's maybe minimizing on the budget side of it for small businesses that don't want to incur a lot of costs. Just open up their accounts, Facebook especially, because it still has the biggest number of people for business brands. Then if you're into lifestyle, Instagram would work well. Also, it also depends on your demographic of target market, like how old are the people you're targeting, because if you're very young, then you could also think about Snapchat, you could think about TikTok. If you're you have a lot of real-time information or a lot of things going on, then you can also consider Twitter. Or if you're going to consider influencer marketing, Twitter is very good. But ideally, it's about opening up the pages and then also just engaging with your friends, with your community, to first and foremost give you that initial push as you try to get the resources that can then elevate you to the next level.
So, for example, I would want someone who's watching to feel relatable. So someone who, let's say, sells clothes online. So what's the best strategy they can use online? Like, what content are they supposed to produce? Because they might think me just posting clothes online is all I can do for my page. But what's the best strategy? Is it all about posting clothes, or you can do something else? You can, to engage your customers, what else can you really do to make your page? Right now we're talking about social media, probably Instagram and Facebook. What can you do? Like, what strategy can you do?
Ideally, if you're looking at something like a brand that sells clothes, let me say, I'll go back to one thing: product first. Make sure that your clothes are good, and then the way you present them, because a photo or a video, the way you present it is going to tell a lot about your brand, and is also going to entice people to want, I call it a digital ocean, because you wake up and you're scrolling through so many things. You need that thing that's going to make you stop and be like, oh, this is nice. Then you want to find out more. So then in that instant, then you can also think about incorporating other things like, do you have any discounts? Do you have any offers for people? Like I said, get your friends to be a part of it. Let them start a conversation about it, because I don't know if you have been, like, for instance, on this is most common on, like, Twitter, where a lot of people are talking about something, and even if you don't follow that particular person, it gives you a notification. That is because of something they call algorithms, that a lot of people are having a conversation about it. Now it's suggested because it is perceived as interesting. So you look at it in that way. Then also, I always tell people to not make themselves so robotic, in a way that you're only posting the clothes. Bring in a human side of it. Maybe behind the scenes of the shop, maybe customers' experience, things like that. Try to have a different way you show the human side, maybe the workers, maybe happy clients, and also you also have this other side where you're showcasing the clothes as well. Then I also say, as a business, regardless of how little your resources are, always factor in a small budget for ads. At least Facebook and Instagram ads. I would recommend, at least if someone can even have 100K a month, they can do something small. You just have to maybe do a little bit of research on how to maximize your 100K, but you need to push yourself out. If like I told you, things are changing these days a lot. Facebook, which is now also owning Instagram, is particularly garnered towards businesses, and you find that if you have a business page or a business site, let me say page on Facebook, when you put out something, only 10% of your actual following organically sees it, because they are trying to encourage people to spend more on ads. So it is very important for you to put in some ads, so that you can, first of all, also outcompete some of your competitors. It shows people that you're serious, and there is what they call the perception. There's a term that it's skipping my mind right now, but it's like at the back of your mind. Ask yourself why. I know we're talking about small businesses, but I'm just going to bring an example of a big one. Ask yourself why a brand like Coca-Cola, regardless of how big it is, continues to advertise and everything, because you have to keep at the back of the mind. If you do not put yourself in people's faces,
the perception of the brand,
people forget. People will jump onto the next thing. So you have to keep relevant. You have to keep, but of course, also the way you communicate. And as a small brand, now the advantage you have is these big corporations, they have a lot of, firstly, the big budgets, they have a lot of what can I call it, red tape. so many processes are so long. But for you, you have the chance of actually using your social media to directly communicate with your clients one-on-one. So that personal touch is your advantage over a big corporation, because if you're going to reach out to MTN and get feedback, direct feedback, and if you're going to reach out to a small brand, well, definitely a small brand is going to respond.
You're going to talk to the owner.
Yes,
most
exactly.
probably. Yeah.
So the social media actually becomes directly your platform for customer feedback, for customer engagement. Use that to listen to what your customers want, what they feel is not right. Is it price? Is it product? Is it delivery? Is it experience? Because at the end of it all, it's all about user experience. So make sure that you as a small business, you leverage your small resources to give customers the best experience ever. That is how you're going to grow and compete with brands that have even more resources than you do.
Now, which brings me to the next question. There's something I've been seeing online, which I think small businesses should start utilizing: content marketing. I want you to delve into content marketing. How do you explain it to someone who has never heard about it, or someone who out to use it in their business?
Well, content marketing is basically the messaging, the way a brand positions itself to communicate with its target market or its intended target market. And this all goes back to who your target market is and how you can approach them. If I'm a business that's approaching a lot more seasoned people, a lot older people, or maybe CEOs, and I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, yes, a little bit, but most of my content would probably rotate around LinkedIn, would rotate around email marketing. Yeah, so it's all about understanding. If you're now targeting a younger demographic, then you're going to go Instagram, you're going to go Snapchat, you're going to go TikTok. So basically what content marketing rotates around is how you communicate with people. One, to entertain, to educate, and then to sell. The selling, I always put it in an 80-20 way. Provide value first, 80%, then 20% you talk about your brand. If you talk about your brand all the time, people get bored and people see no value. It's like you do not want someone who's constantly coming in your inbox asking you for money, asking you to buy this, to buy this, to buy this. But if I have conversations with them, I'm like, oh, by the way, I also do this. Yeah, you want to know more about it because you actually find some value from me. Maybe it's entertainment, maybe I give you good advice. So that is how it is. So the content varies. It can be through there are brands that rely on articles and blogs. There are brands that rely on video. Short video is actually the most engaging kind of content as of from 2019 up to now. It is. Then photography always tells a very big picture of the story. Of course, quality of the photos and the videos is also very important. Then there are various kinds of content that you can leverage depending on what your goal is. So it's all about understanding what your goal is, who your age group of target is, and where you can find them. Yeah, so it usually rotates around that. I think that's what content marketing is all about. And then maybe just incorporating in between, how do I sell my product but still offer value, and also still try to leave a provision for the fact that there are a lot of things that happen on the day-to-day. Remember, you try to keep your content relevant. There's so many things that happen, and that's why you can find like one of my biggest examples was that time when they were saying Omwavu wakufa, and you saw how many brands
jumped on it. Yeah.
Try to use those things and interest people. Don't be too serious. Don't bombard people with products, but try to be interesting. People relate with things they're interested in. Yeah, so that's
yeah. You hinted on good quality pictures and videos. So I want you to tell people out there the importance of good quality pictures and videos. For example, a business might be selling shirts, and all it does is goes online, downloads pics from online, and just we're selling shirts. But what's the importance for someone who probably has I like using the clothes because it's the business I'm in, to take good pictures, like going out there and hiring a photographer and taking good pictures for people to get the feel. I want you to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. Quality of the content that you put out, especially in regards to photo and video, first and foremost, it strikes a perception in the consumer that you care about your brand and that what you're selling is you understand it. If I'm scrolling through and I'm trying to make a decision of who to maybe choose to buy shirts or to buy jeans, and I find someone who's just randomly taken a picture, maybe just outside there and that, and then it's not clear, it's blurry, and then someone who actually takes time and takes their pictures properly, I will be more attracted or more leaning towards the one that has actually spent more time, because I feel like they care about their brand and they are professional, and people are looking to associate with people who are professional. Then looking at it, you talked about something in regards to downloading internet pictures. Downloading internet pictures, first of all, to the customer, if you don't know how many people have used that picture. So I could have seen it somewhere and I'm like, these guys I don't think they're selling. Yes.
Sometimes there's this thing people have, the perception people have about online shopping.
Yes, that's actually what I was coming to.
Something that's online on
you
the
see
picture,
something and then you get a totally different
it's always
thing.
different.
And that is something that can make you lose customers and get very bad feedback. It's better for you, even if you have something that's average, take a picture of that average thing and showcase it. But instead of raising people's hopes, and then when they get the final thing, they're disappointed. So it's about that. Then it also comes to ads and everything. You cannot use someone else's image for like to boost, if in case you're trying to promote something, because one, copyright, you do not know whose image that is, and two, also it's likely to be flagged by Facebook because it's not your content. And to avoid all that chaos as a business, legal issues and everything, and also to get perception that this is a brand that cares about its image, it's a brand that's serious about what it does, it's better to invest in that. And I always tell people to at least invest in that. And it doesn't have to be, there's this perception that it should be always photography and what, but sometimes you can just invest time in you and you learn how to get the best out of phone photography. Find what phones really have good pixels, have a good way of capturing images, capturing videos, and then find a way of utilizing them. Yeah, sometimes it's all about maybe trying to get some lighting, but I know a lot of brands that actually use their phones and they have very, very good pictures. So it's about investing time. I feel like some brands or some business owners don't take time to want to learn. They think it's just a matter of, I have these things, I want to sell them. I just take a picture and post. No, it's more than that. And then they wonder why someone else is getting maybe more attention than you are, and then that's why you find things like Chibando guy. No, sometimes it's all about your product and how you present yourself.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So for a growing company, what's the importance of having a website? Because it's also part of digital marketing.
Yeah, for a growing company, websites are actually, first of all, very, very important. But then again, you have to know what your website is doing. There are websites that are basically information hubs, just that to know more about the business. There are those that use their websites as a form of resource that it gives maybe articles every week, tips on something, things like that. Then there are those who use them as live shops. So it depends on what your goal is for your website. And the advantage of also having a website, it allows you to leverage on two aspects of digital marketing that are not so popular in Uganda, or not used by a lot of businesses. Yeah, there is the search engine optimization, where SEO, where if in case someone tries to search on any browser, your comes among the first. And then the second one is pay-per-click, where you can have your ad running on these browsers, and every time a customer clicks on it, you pay. It depends on how you've leveraged, how you've paid for what they call keywords. I'm getting a little bit into the technicalities, but the website can be used in various ways. It just depends on what your intention for it is, and ideally what your goal is. But then again, it gives you a professional stand. It gives you a professional look as compared to your competitor. If I am meeting with two people and maybe they are both dealing in a certain product, and I'm like, where can I find more information about you? And someone says, you know what, this is our website, you can find all our information. It's easier to continue.
It's easy to put your portfolio.
But then someone, now I have to go back and then I have to type this. it just makes more professional sense on top of the other reasons. Yeah.
So Ruben, any closing remarks as we wind up the show?
I just like to urge people that if you are getting into business, if you are getting, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's anything, social media is the future. Digital is the future, regardless, not only social media, and people should really embark on it, should really take the time to let me say, learn how to make the most of it. And maybe if you don't have the time yourself, try and look for a professional that can do. I know there are some that claim to be professionals as well, that aren't professionals as such. It's a common concern among business owners today in Uganda. But try as much as possible and maybe get a professional. But if you have the time, these are some of the things that you can use YouTube to learn at least a little bit about. Because if you're not on the online space, then really business is going to be very hard for you in the future. But I appreciate you having me on the show. It means a lot. Yeah.
You were really insightful. Hope someone who was watching has really gotten something out of it. Yeah. Thanks guys for watching. Always click the notification button to get more updates.